Now, when you're dealing with the black race and you wonder why they're going through what they go through, is because it has nothing to do with mankind on a massive scale with the mind. The reason why the black race is going through what they go through is the dysfunctional household. Emotional. Don't want to sacrifice. Sacrifice what? Right? So when you sacrifice in your household to be in order, you have to sacrifice your petty personal mindset. That's why the black race has an individual mindset, because the individual mindset has been pushed by mankind within the community, and they accept it within their community. Because one thing about me, I haven't been mentally black since I was 38. I'm 41. I understand I understand the mental down effect of saying that you're black. Now, one reason why these other races are above the black race is because when you're dealing with the physical aspect of the community. Now, I always use the Somalian community as an example up here in Minnesota, right? All their women, they dress the same. They don't show their hair. So, I mean, even if they did show their hair would probably be the same. Why is that so significant? Because you're showing other races that you have a collective mindset. That's what you're showing them. And see, when you're dealing with the so-called black race, they all have an individual mind frame. Now, if you want to be, this is the thing, if you want to be conscious and you want to, work your job, do your business, be a part of a society where you're civil, that's fine. But one thing about that is when you're dealing with that and you wonder why you have to move into certain neighborhoods to get away from the poverty and from the gangs and from the chaos and confusion within the neighborhood. The reason why is because it always come back down to the structure of the children. Now why is the so-called black race the same as the white race? For one, I'm gonna give you a couple of examples why the black race and the white race, they're the same as far as feeding off of each other's energy. And anybody can argue with me, but they know in the back of their medulla oblongata, they know this is the reality of it. Now, how many languages does the black race have? One standard language. How many language does the white race have? One standard language. What is it? It's English. So right there, that's not even a separation from them just speaking on a verbal intelligent conversation, because how can you separate from somebody if you're talking with them, right? You're talking with them, but then when you want to talk to your people, they're still knowing what you're saying. So you can't separate from them, not even in a group aspect, if you're on one side of the room and they're on the other side of the room, because everything you're saying, they can acknowledge that. And what do? They take it and they use it against, just like they did the natives, Native Americans, just like they did the Moors, just like they did the indigenous of the American lands. So back in the 60s and 70s, what did you see? You seen a community, a real community. 80 to 90% of the people that was in the community, they all was rocking their natural hair. They had afros. The separation was taking place as far as being a segregated community, because that's the only way you can come into power, is to be a segregated community, to receive something next, to move the planet forward and move your community forward. If you have an individual mind frame, it's not going to work. You're still going to be stuck. You're going to get reincarnated, and you only get 9 tries in this 3-dimensional realm. You're dealing with the 9. You can go Google the 9. Go Google the 9. And then see that the 9 plays a factor in this reincarnation also. You only get, that's where they get the 9 lives of the cats. You only get 9 tries in this 3-dimensional realm. And then if you fail all 9 times, because that's where you get the free will. The free will is dealing with the decisions that you make. Now, when you're dealing with the Ethernet, now that the internet's out, not the Ethernet, but the internet's out right now, so there's not going to be no excuses when you're dealing with the upper dimensions. There ain't going to be no more excuses. Slavery, power to slavery. Now the slave mentality is pushing even more, because I don't even take nobody serious that is AKA conscious or woke, and you still working for the beast. Can't take you serious. Or you got your hair like the beast, or your children do not have a children-like mind frame at the ages they're supposed to. Some of these children think that they're grown at 12, 11, 10 years old. And you wonder why the problems in the so-called black neighborhoods is being, now we at the point of evolution, so there's no more excuses talking about mankind and the beast and how they drop guns in the neighborhood and the drugs that's being pushed. Yeah, that plays a factor, because it's always going to be war on the golden ones. It's always going to be war on the golden ones. Yeah, it's going to play a factor to that. But in the long run, it's not going to affect the next generation, because you have to tell your children that separation is a must. If you sitting there still skipping with this and that, if you have mankind around you and they ain't working for you, you ain't running them, you ain't calling the shots, because that's what they was put here for. They was put here to work. They was put here to build. That was the original thing that they was put here for. And they're still doing that. The foundation is almost complete. That's why I hear people on the internet. It's so funny because, I hear a lot of brothers and sisters, they be on the internet just talking, so conscious and this and that. But then what happens is, when you're dealing with somebody activated, they always catch the slip-ups. Everything you say, you catch a slip-up. Because one thing about us, we deal with correction. When we slip up, we try to correct it, and correct it right then and there. Because there's not revolution. One thing about the so-called black race, one thing about them is they think that money, land, and guns is going to save them in the future. And this is a warning from the Bureau. That's what this is. This is a warning from the future. Land, guns, money will not save your soul. Period. It's not. The only thing a gun can do is protect you in this physical realm. That's what guns is. Money. What is money? What is money without wealth? It's nothing. Money is nothing without wealth. Because if money gets transferred into a different type of currency, which the current is the mind, moving a current, which is the volts in your mind, then it gets switched to a different currency or element, then it doesn't matter because you didn't establish a wealth foundation for the next generation. Why is that so significant? Because once you establish a wealth foundation for the next generation, then you can establish your own educational system. You can establish the separation, because it's one thing about the so-called black race, they just can't get it through their thick skulls that when you have these people around you, these other races, they need to be underneath you. That's the only solution. That's the only solution. They need to be underneath you. They need to be workers. They need to be working. And it's so funny because I see them on the internet. That's what's so funny. I see some of these brothers and sisters on the internet, man, and they so conscious. Some of them even got natural hair, but then they want equality. They want to be equal. They want, like, how you gonna be equal with with these motherfuckers that put you in slavery? Fuck, you gonna be equal with them, and they put you in slavery. That's why I'm not even worried about none of that. We ain't worried about none of that. Because it's always been a mental mind game. It's always been a mental mind game, a mental shift to the evolution of power. That's why they're in power. They're not going to get it through their thick skulls, because guns, revolution, money, right, and land. How is that going to be so significant when your children still are being raised by the beast? So it don't matter, because this is about the future. This is about the evolution. It's not about the now. The ones that's teaching about the now, that's as far as they can go. Because the ones that's teaching about the future, there's not going to be a lot of us on the planet. Because you have to have, for one, you have to go through certain things in life to get to this stage. Because people, they don't know me personally. You really don't. You really don't know me personally. You see my videos, you hear this and that, because the way I come towards individuals, right? It's a different frequency, a different wave of energy. It's something that you've never seen before on this planet. Because people always come at the ones, right, where they know how their energy is going to flow. The ones that they don't know how their energy is going to flow, they might talk a little shit here and there, but they ain't going to really confront, because they know, how can you confront intel? You can't confront intel. It's not going to work with these information seekers. They know that. In the back of their head, they know that. So all the little miscellaneous stuff that they talk, that's fine. Nobody cares about that. You know why? Because they're not in the future. Why would you even worry about somebody who's not in the future? You only get 9 tries. That's it. Everybody that's a carbon-coated being fell here for a reason. This was the next chance that you get. The reincarnation factor of the 9 tries. There's only 9 tries. You go do research on the 9. Everybody like to do research. To go do research on the 9. You only get 9 tries. Some of y'all are on your 9th try. And then after that, reincarnation will be slavery for you. Physical, mental, and all of the above. And that's why the so-called black race always, I'm looking on the internet. I got one brother that's on the internet. He was talking about how they had these secret chat groups and they were talking stuff and doing this and doing that. A lot of them is just agents that's been sent by the beast. That's who that is. That's who their God is the agents. The agents, they not the agents. The God is mankind, the beast, the Luciferians, the light workers. And these celebrities come up on here every time something pops off because they get activated. The celebrities get activated to do what? To come out here and play both sides of the fence. This one celebrity, he was online. He talking all hood and all ghetto and hood. Then he wanted to switch up and then start talking and uplifting the beast. Then he went back, started uplifting, because that's what they got to do. They got to play both sides of the fence. They can't open up no schools, right? And ain't none of them was talking about the children, the ones after us, because the ones after us, y'all really in trouble. They gonna be super activated. They already gonna know you work for the beast. The beast sent you. They already gonna know. This raw and uncut. This is raw and uncut tonight. Because these niggas that's on the internet, they got the mind frame of the beast, and they always trying to put their foot and trying to put their tongue on something that they have no fucking understanding about. None. Sitting in their little dirty ass damn apartments and houses and whatever the fuck they live in. Don't even groom themselves properly. Just walking around looking like the goddamn beast out of a cave. Fuck you gonna be walking around with fucking hair everywhere on your goddamn face. You look just like the beast, man. That's who your God is, the goddamn beast. This is raw and uncut because I'm through playing with these motherfucking niggas. So your God is Harry Fake. You know who your God is? Fucking Harry and the Henderson. That's who your God is. Remember Harry and the Hendersons? Hairy ass Negroes. Always got something to say because I feel, this is how I feel. I feel like it shouldn't be like that. We're Africans. No, we ain't Africans. We solar. Simple as that. Mark no damn territory on a planet. This planet is going into a one planetary grid. Simple as that. And that's why they have to keep their circle small. Because when you're dealing with the black race, you already know. Once you start, I heard another brother. He teaches out in Atlanta. You know, notice I don't say no names because the names don't matter. So he teaches out, and he was talking about how he started to get a lot of people around him, and he had to go back how he was earlier when his circle was small, because that's the way niggas is. Niggas is parasites because they got the mark of the beast on them. They got the two, they got the 1 and the 2 in their forehead. That's why it's called a forehead, because the forehead, because you were supposed to be tapping into the 4th dimension. It's where the fuck you supposed to be tapping into, but that's fine because we here and we gonna tap into it. And the children after us are gonna be super activated, and they gonna be messing with you niggas. They gonna put you niggas to the side. And in the future, 100, 200, 300 down, because the beast, they only have less than 300 years left. And that ain't nothing when you're dealing with 14 billion years plus. Because instant gratification, when you're dealing with on this planet, instant gratification means nothing. Because the souls are eternal. It's just where you gonna go. They got less than 300 years on this goddamn planet, man. And then we will be back in power. That's why these niggas that's on the internet that's, talking shit in these secret chat groups and doing this and doing that. You know why they do that? Because in reality, 80% of them was raised by their mothers, and they didn't have a father figure in their life. So they get emotional. Just like women. Women are always going to be a little bit more emotional than men. They're supposed to be, right? So when you get raised by one, sometimes it rubs off on you. It rubs off on them, and they start acting like a damn bitch, a damn whore. What's that new word? A thought, an emotional thought. Want to go through an emotional rant instead of taking the time to be like, you know what? Let me call this dude. Let me text him. Let me call him. Let me see what he's really on a personal level. Because you know why? 9 times out of 10, they work for the beast. They work for the damn beast. Text message. You got ones that work for them, don't even know it, but then they figure it out later, but then it's too late. Then you got ones that just do it just for the money. So you got two type of them. You got two type of them Negroes going through the internet. That's why if somebody ever come at us, we already been preparing for it. Because it's going to be intel being shot, not information. The stuff we put on Google, Siri, and Alexa, they go through a digital brain freeze. They can't even process the stuff that we come up with, and that's how it's going to be in the future. I'm not worried about no artificial intelligence. We're going to be worried about something that mankind made. Well, actually, man made. They took it. The brother, I forgot the brother's name. He created the internet. Of course, it was a golden being. But that's why you got to that's why the black race has to keep their circles small, because there's always going to be a parasite that comes up in there. But in the future, we already going to know who the parasite is. You know how long it's going to take? It's going to take 1 minute conversation with that person. 1 minute. That's it. Everything's speeding up. Everything is speeding up in this three-dimensional realm. It's getting faster and faster, just like the internet. You don't think the minds are going to start moving faster? That's why I told that brother, he's like, oh man, I got all this stuff going on. People hating on me, this and that. I said, why are you even worried about that? You don't worry about the haters. You got to treat this system just like the so-called humans, mankind treat this system. They don't be worried about none of that. All these Negroes talking stuff about the white man and stuff like that. You know what they doing? They shutting their mouth and just preparing, thinking about the future. Everything is futuristic. That's why they don't be on here tripping. And you don't see these white people on the damn internet. I mean, you catch one here and there, but who's on the internet on a consistent basis? It's the so-called black race that's not speaking about nothing that's going to move their children and the community forward, period. Because you can be, what's so funny is I see a lot of cats, they on the internet, they talking about community gatherings, this and that, and then they'll start playing music, and it's some damn low frequency trap nigga music. Like, that's how you know they ain't in the future. Dealing with these niggas, because shit, 98%, man, the beast can have y'all. Do whatever they want with you. Now, when I say certain stuff like that, people always think it's physical. Oh, what does he mean by that? Have us, what, fuck the white man and all this shit. Fuck the white man. No, I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about mentally. Go to his schools. Work for them. Sign a damn contract. Be a rapper. And even if you do sign, even if you are independent, you're still spitting some damn nonsense that don't even make no goddamn sense to the children to move them forward in the future, and talking about being segregated. You know why niggas don't like to be segregated? Because they like every goddamn body. They like that one song, we are the world, we are the children. That's what that's about. Because ain't no reason to call out no names. Nigga, we mess with you mentally. I'm going to tell this story. I had a situation. This is when I was conscious. I had a situation. about 7 years ago. And me and the mother of my daughter, I have two daughters, so you really don't know which mother I'm talking about.